anniversary blog hop today, and I will be sharing a super fun technique that I'm going to be using to scrap this photo. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how you can create a layout. You can use this on a layout, you can use this on a card, whatever you like. It is called Heat Embossing Watercolor Resist. So I know that we have seen a bit of watercolor resist papers around and glue pens and all that. I'm going to show you how you guys can do this with very simple supplies that you most likely already have in your stash. That would be pretty much using supplies that, okay, so I should say the supplies are grabbing some pigment ink. You will also need some, you can use, I have two kinds of stamp pads. I have the pigment ink, the white one. I also grabbed the purple one. I wasn't sure if I wanted to add a little bit of color. There's also just regular embossing ink pads like the one you see there, which is basically made of glue. And then you will need embossing powder, preferably a clear embossing powder or a white one. I've tried both, the clear and the white, and I felt like the white one stood out a lot more through the watercolor. But both of them work equally the same. And then you will also need an a heat tool, because that's going to help you create the embossing on your paper once you add your powder onto your stamp. So I am starting up super fast right away. As you guys can see here, I have picked out my stamps, and you can pick any stamp you like. It could be intricate, it could be a little bit more like what I've got going here, which is a little bit of a larger shape, and you know, any stamp you like, and just go ahead and stamp whatever you would like on your page. I'm focusing my photo in the center, so I have this pretty chevron stamp here, so I'm going to be stamping it from bottom up and then from the top of my page to the bottom, and that kind of just brings the focus into the center of my page, which is where I'm going to be putting my photo, as you can see there. I'm scrapping a photo of me and my son catching some Z's and I want it to be in the center, like I said. So you see me stamping here. I'm going to be stamping all around just to add a little bit of interest all through my page. And the steps are this. So you will stamp your shapes onto your paper. Then you will be adding a little bit of powder over it, over the top. You want to coat your whole stamp section. And then you will also then proceed to use the heat tool to bring or lift that emboss. And you guys can see how I'm just going back and forth using some favorite stamps. This stamp set that I have here was gifted to me by Florence from the In the Scrap blog. Thank you, Florence. She sent me such a precious gift when I guest designed for her blog in July, and I am so very gracious to be part of the In the Scrap design team now. So thank you, Florence. I'm glad I got to use these stamps. You also see how I'm doing big shapes and little shapes. Like I said, it could be intricate, it can be something big and bold. The embossing works on anything, any stamp. I have done this for a while now. I actually created my wedding, what are they called? Wedding announcements with embossing. So I've been doing this for a few years, and it's got to be one of my favorite techniques. So to lift that embossing powder that you've added to your stamp, you are going to use your heat tool. I know that blow dryers don't always necessarily work, so a heat tool is always a fun tool to have. This is one of the tools I think I use the most because you know, it's pretty solid that you need it to lift your embossing. And so you see me here, I'm just going to go through the front, lift all that embossed, stamping and going through the back just to kind of flatten out my page. And here's a close look, guys. Can you guys see how it glimmers? That is fully embossed. And you can see how the smaller chevrons I stamped are not as bright as the white ones. That's because I used clear embossing powder on that. And I did both without really knowing exactly what the difference would be between them, but they're pretty much working the same because I'm using a white base. If you're not using a white base, I would recommend using the white embossing powder and white pigment ink. So now here comes the magic, my friends. I've got my watercolors and I'm going with a very soft baby blue, and I'm just going around pretty much the whole center of my page, creating this center watercolor area. And I'm adding plenty of water, I'm adding plenty of watercolor, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit of a napkin to remove the watercolor on top of my embossing, just to make that stand out a little bit. And I'm going with a little bit of a darker shade blue in some of these smaller shapes that I have here, just to make them pop out a little bit more. And can you guys see how there's that watercolor resist on the embossing? It's a very, very fun and easy technique, and you guys can see how very quickly I finished my base for my layout. And I'm just going around wiping above the embossed stamps so that they can they can be clear of any watercolor and the white can really pop out. I love this. I love how you can see the shapes. You can see the triangles I stamped. You can see both the big, large chevrons and the small ones. And there it is, friends. I am ready to get started on decorating my layout. So that was pretty much the way that you can get this background done. Now we're going to go into the whole process for finishing off the layout, my friends. So I've got the photo of my son and myself taking a quick little nap there. Obviously I wasn't asleep, but I just had to capture this super cute moment. My photo is black and white, and I really like it because I feel it's going to pop very well against this soft blues and watercolors. Also, I decided to go with blues. It kind of just reminded me of clouds and, you know, dreamy little moment. And I'm going to be using a lot of Dear Lizzy supplies that I have here. Basically just the stickers that I have. I'm not going to back my photo, so I'm just going to go around and add stickers. I'm also going to be adding my title with a mix of thickers here. This one is one of the most recent Pebbles thickers for one of the Pebbles collections. And I'm taking the word dream and I'm going to be sticking it down onto above my photo. You can see that I already added a sticker down at the bottom with some cute closed little eyes. That's from the Dear Lizzy sticker sheet. And I'm loving how, and you guys will see how I have lots of pops of black with lots of different colorful elements as well. I'm adding a few round stickers here. These are from the Saturday Dear Lizzy collection. And my embellishments, you guys will see, I'm just basically going in randomly. I don't have, I don't think I have very many clusters. Like, I kind of just popped everything down randomly. But I kind of liked that because I wanted my focus to be the center, which is my photo, and I feel like the stamped, oh my gosh, what are they called? I'm losing track of what I'm saying, friends. But anyways, the focus is centered to my photo. So I feel like the rest of the embellishments are just to accent a few bits and pieces here and there. I'm adding the cloud, and I had to add a little bit of the yellow, so I added that super cute bow. And then I'm adding this heart to the left-hand side, and that's going to help me finish off my my title, and you guys will see how that goes. So I'm just looking around to see what will go best with my layout. I'm adding this super cute photo. I'm sorry, that's not a photo, it's a camera. I'm adding that cute little camera at the bottom, and I will be using a lot of black elements, and those will be pretty much my three focus points. So I added a little banner up at the top, and it really didn't go because it was like a mint color, and it just was, I felt like it was clashing a lot with the blues that I've got here. So I switched that out for a Chamel cloud from one of her the Chamel sticker sheets. And it just goes a lot well with the other cloud that I have there on this side. So now I'm bringing out some super fun Dear Lizzy clear acetate shapes. I'm bringing that blue banner, and I'm going to have that be sort of the base to finish off my title. And then I'm also bringing some clear stars down at the bottom. A little bit of yellow and a little bit of blue I think goes perfect with this layout. And I also added a heart up at the top above the word dream. And to stick these down, I'm simply going to be using some clear glue. That's usually the best option that I always take when it comes to sticking down your acetate pieces. Clear glue, it might show through a little bit, but you know, it sticks down your stuff, and that's all you can really do. Okay, so I brought out a few more thickers. Like I said, my title will be made of thickers, and I'm using a few different ones that I have here to add, you know, the full title that I need. And I'm going with a Dream On, and I'm realizing that there's a big gap in between it, and it just kind of breaks off in a very odd place. So I'll be adding one more word. I'm also bringing out some little stars and hearts. I didn't know if I wanted to add those little hearts down at the bottom corner. You can hardly see them, but I added about 3 down there, and I end up moving those. I also added that heart bubble up at the top, and that one is super cute. I love it. So I found the words that I needed in all my thickers collections. I was so excited about that, because this really helps with my title, which is Dream on Love. And now I'm just testing out where I want these little hearts. I put one on top of the camera, which is super cute. I love it. And the last detail I add is another white little bubble that says smile, and it's coming from my camera, and I bring it down just a little bit. And this, my friends, finishes off my layout. I have included a few close-ups, and I've also linked below the blog post for this layout. I hope that you guys really enjoyed. If you guys stop by my blog, you guys can leave a comment and follow the blog hub to be entered to win a prize from In the Scrap. So thanks so much for stopping by, my friends. I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.